speaking of Nazis, so PewDiePie, who I don't think he's a Nazi, but
he's not.
He had a little run-in with the ADL. It was very interesting. Some people think that he was trolling them for playing 4D chess because so he had some issues before, and then he recently announced he got an award for getting 100 million subscribers, and he did an ad, and then he said that he was donating $50,000 to the ADL. And then, like a day later, then he got all this pushback and comments. Everybody was talking about it. Like, why is he donating to them? Because they pretty much tried to run him out of business before, and I happen to think they're pretty shady. And then he took it back.
Well, you know what's funny about that is why is fucking PewDiePie a thing? And second of all, you know, he's apparently the biggest star in.
I actually watch him. I like his content. The thing is he's actually almost completely apolitical, and I think he's pretty much a normie, and then people just paint him as this all-right Nazi. Like, I don't know, just like he rubs people the wrong way or something, or doesn't play like an SJW game or whatever, and so they're just always trying to smear him.
Oh, my statement wasn't anti-PewDiePie. I was like, why?
I'm just saying that, you know, he's been doing a lot of Minecraft videos lately. There's nothing offensive about it.
My point is, why is somebody who's doing these gaming videos such a controversial figure? I don't understand it.
I think he just rubs the far left SJW wackos the wrong way. Like, he's not going to... I think he's pretty much, he seems normie, maybe centrist. He's not political, really. And but he doesn't play, they try and put pressure on, you know, and then he screwed up. He said the N-word on stream maybe once or something. You know, the things that they pull up are not even that big of a deal.
Well, and,
but he doesn't play the SJW game. And so then they're like, oh my God, and it freaks him out, and so he's a Nazi.
You know, you and I had this discussion about Taylor Swift, I think we did. I must have told somebody about this, but remember when Taylor, they were absolutely insane that Taylor Swift was not coming out.
Silence was deafening.
Yeah. So I think it has to do with the fact that here you have this guy.
Pressure people.
Yeah, he's a young guy who has a lot of followers that are young. So that means that they want him to have these views that align with the left, so they can brainwash his viewers into following the left agenda. And then as soon as he does something that indicates, because he's not an American, his worldview isn't American, he can speak English, but you know, he's not obsessed with our worldview.
He's Swedish and he lives in Britain.
Right? So he doesn't give a shit. You know, his worldview may not be an American's worldview. His sense of humor might be like, you know, he'll say a joke that in America might be very offensive, but it's not offensive to him because he's not an American.
I just think he has a few moments of being mildly offensive, and they overblow it, and almost the rest of the entire time he's pretty innocuous and not very political. That's my opinion.
So I think somebody like PewDiePie just goes...
he's not even trying to make edgy jokes all the time. They have him under a microscope and looking for something. Like, okay, so in his video where he took back the donation to the ADL. So he's wearing this shirt, and on the collar, it had a design at the very end of it. It has a cross, and it looks like the Iron Cross. And so technically, it's not an Iron Cross; it's a Georgian cross.
Yes.
But what's funny? So even an Iron Cross, even the ADL admits it's not always Nazi. That there's other usages of it. That Germany, I think, used it for decades before and after World War II, and there's all these other examples of it. And it's just a similar cross, which is Georgian, and it's actually a famous Georgian designer. And he was like in a magazine or something, saying like, "Hey, he's rocking this Georgian designer stuff," and nobody said anything. And then people were like, "Oh my God, he's a Nazi! He's got an Iron Cross!" And just like going crazy.
Well, exactly. First of all, I go back to the point. I do not know if PewDiePie was playing 4D chess and trolling the ADL or not. He might have been.
He might not have been. I don't know. He says that that he didn't look into the ADL a lot, and he says it's his fault, and somebody recommended them. And then people point out, well, there's no way he hasn't heard of them because they were like leading a campaign against him and lost him a bunch of money with Disney or something. So I think it's possible. I think there's plausible deniability. It was in the middle of him getting married and stuff.
Yeah.
So if he had a brain fart, I think that's certainly possible.
Actually,
if he just said, yeah, okay, you're recommending them, okay, and they're a Jewish charity, they're against bigotry, okay, that's fine. Without doing any research, that's quite possible. That's what he says.
Sargon of Assad,
Akkad.
Sargon of Akkad, he had this interesting theory, which I think is plausible. PewDiePie got this some sort of backer. You know, he was gonna. He's got some sort of sponsor.
Oh yeah, it was called Honey. It was that was like an app that he was promoting.
So they might have said to him, listen, just to the ADL, if you bribe them, they'll you know, even if you're a Nazi, if you bribe them, they'll say you're not a Nazi. You know, that kind of shit. You know,
it's possible. They seem to be, you know, in my opinion, they seem to be a bit of a shakedown organization.
Yeah.
You know, like Al Sharpton or something. You pay them protection money to leave you alone. That's what it seems like to me.
So he goes, oh, okay, you know, if it'll help me, you know.
Yeah, I mean, let's say he has a lucrative deal with this company, and it was their idea, and they're like, yeah, we just, you know, we're not totally freaked out. We're just a tiny bit squeamish. So if you just donate to this charity at the same time, then that'll work out. And he's in the middle of getting married. He's probably like, yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Exactly.
That's plausible. Or maybe he was trolling. I don't know.
Yeah, if he's trolling. Then
everybody looked up all the his 9-year-old army, and people joke about his audience is 9 years old,
yeah,
but which is funny because I think he's been doing it for 9 years.
Exactly.
But then everybody looks them up and you know sees that they're kind of shady. You know, I think they're similar to like the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is also ridiculous.
Well, if PewDiePie did it to troll the ADL,
they just call everybody an anti-Semite and go crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, if he actually did it to troll the ADL, God bless him. He's a genius. You know, if it was, I think, like the brain part that you brought up, then he did the good. He listened to his audience because, like,
yeah, I saw the comments. People were like, "Hey, take a look at the comments," and it was insane because I think they were deleting or hiding a lot of them, but it would say on there, it'd be like. There'd be okay, so it got millions he has a huge channel, he got millions of views on this, so there's a lot of comments. But you'd start looking at the comments and it would all say like 3 seconds ago, 5 seconds ago, you're like, what the fuck? And they try and sort them, and it just seems really bizarre. I think they were deleting a lot of them too.
Well, it is, and it goes to show you that YouTube, I bet you YouTube would love to fucking ban him like they banned somebody else that used to name Lenin, you know, as quick as that, you know. They would love to ban this PewDiePie. Or
probably I think it's a double-edged sword though, because he makes money for them, and then also it would make YouTube look bad too. People who pissed, he's already on D Live, I think, so he can bring his audience somewhere else.